let's do some analysis on the PS5 Pro live here on the Level 1 podcast. And again, thank you everyone. Wow, actually views did go up. We're gaining more viewers. Please, if you're enjoying the stream, please give it a like. We're at 131 likes. Let's hit 150. That would help a lot. And thank you so much for your contributions this morning. The best way to support would be tipping because we're trying to regain the king streak. We want to hit it 2, then it's a real streak. All right, so please tip today. Let's hit that 150 bucks. Let's get it done as soon as possible so we can focus on the rest of the show. All right, cool. All right, let's just watch this together. I've not seen this yet. This is the PS5 Pro trailer. Okay, so let's watch this together and see what it's all about, and then we'll go from there. What's funny is they're trying to make it look like it's not white, but it is. Like, if it was black, if they actually recolored it to be black, I think people would like it more. But you know it's still white. They're not going to change the base color of it. Da-da, dum-dum, da-da, dum-da-da. What is that music? Who picked that? Sounds like shit. It's like total corporate shit, right? Dum-da-da, dum-da-dee-da-da. Shut the fuck up. Spectral Super Resolution. Feature only available on select PS5 games that have been enhanced for PS5 Pro when compared with PS5. PS5 Pro enhanced features will vary by game. I like that the first thing they announced had to have a disclaimer at the bottom of the screen that basically this is all nonsense and probably no games will have it, right? This is the equivalent of like the Sega Genesis or Master System saying, oh, it has blast processing, right? Wow. What are we supposed to be looking at? This is hilarious. High frame rates. Instead of 60, now you can do 120 frames. Advanced ray tracing, and it has exactly the same disclaimer again. Feature only available on select games, right? Vertical stand sold separately. No disk drive. Look at that. There's no disk drive on it at all. Witness Play Unleashed. Witness Play Unleashed. That's their tagline for this thing. PlayStation. Play has no limits. So they failed to put the information into the trailer. So now we have to go to the PlayStation blog to actually get the full information. Don't ask me why they didn't put the information in the trailer. Welcome to PlayStation 5 Pro, the most visually impressive way to play games on PlayStation. I'm glad they clarified that, because obviously if you have a gaming PC, you already have all of these features, and if they were like, it's the most visually impressive way to play games, people would be like, what are you, fucking stupid? Right? Why are you lying? Right? Let's take a look. Features including GPU upgrade, advanced ray tracing, and PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. Can't wait to figure out what that is. We worked hard to continuously evolve the console. Yeah. We developed the PS5 Pro with deeply engaged players and game creators in mind. Many have asked for a console that runs even higher fidelity graphics with smoother frame rates at 60 frames per second. We achieved this on PS5 Pro with several key performance features. By the way, it said that on the box for PlayStation 5. I just want to make that clear. On the box of PS5, it says 4K, and it also says 120 frames. So they lied. The box said it was capable of doing that, yet no games ever ran like that. So they were full of crap. It was misadvertisement on the box of the PS5 console. Just make that clear. Okay? So, upgraded GPU. With the PS5 Pro, we're upgrading a GPU that has 67% more compute units than the current PS5 console and 28% faster memory. Overall, this enables up to a 45% faster rendering for gameplay, making the experience much smoother. Okay, so I get that, but what was the last game that you played all right, on PS5, core PS5, where you were like, man, that rendering was too slow. Man, the loading took too long. Man, the game just can't keep up. Can you think of one? Now, admittedly, I haven't played the last few games that I played on PS5. Maybe Star Wars Outlaws is the case, but Star Wars Outlaws has the same problem on PC too. So it's not the hardware, right? It's the games. So it doesn't even really make sense. Like, they're saying it'll be 45% faster rendering, but why did we need that? Did we have any games that weren't rendering right? Not to my knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember playing a game. I was like, man, the game, it just can't keep up, right? Advanced ray tracing. We've added even more powerful ray tracing that provides more dynamic reflection and refraction of light. It allows the rays to be cast at double and sometimes triple the speed of the current PS5 console. So, to give you some perspective here, ray tracing. Yes, I've now played a few games with ray tracing on. Black Myth Wukong was one. I had it on for Star Wars Outlaws. And what I can tell you is your mileage may vary. It really depends more on the game than the hardware. My PC is almost top of the line. It's not top, but it's good. It's a really good PC for what it is. And I can turn ray tracing on to max for most games. And some perspective here. So with the ray tracing on all the way, someone's walking with a torch next to a river, and you can see the fire of the torch reflected in the river rippling, right? You could see more through the water, and you could see the ripple effects and everything. You could see better shadows, way more detailed shadows, and lights coming through trees and stuff. Is it good? Yes, it is. It's really cool. Does it change the game? No, it doesn't. It doesn't change the game. It just makes it look a little bit more pretty. It's a nice feature to have, admittedly. But again, who's going to implement it is the question. Because again, it's not the fact that PS5 didn't have it. It's that the game developers didn't really implement it. So now, are the game developers going to go the added mile to develop games differently for PS5 to implement this better ray tracing or not? Okay? AI-driven upscaling. We're also introducing PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution and AI-driven upscaling that uses a machine learning-based technology to provide super sharp image clarity by adding an extraordinary amount of detail. Now, this I don't really understand. I know that currently my PC has AI that does frame rate, right? But I don't know if I have anything like this. AI generated details? And if AI is generating the details, does that even matter? Because that's great and all, but doesn't it still be able to, it has to handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like the processor, the RAM still has to be able to handle that amount of detail. I'm confused about this one. It is the same thing as the DLSS that I have. It's exactly the same, but it's on console. Oh, so I have it. So I've experienced this already, is what you're saying. Okay. Yes, I'm being told the DLSS is the NVIDIA AI upscaler. That's what I use on my PC. So they're going to have their own. They're going to call PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. All right, so that's what it is, right? Okay. So, sorry, I'm decompressing my back. PS5 Pro provides gamers with amazing graphics at high frame rates. You could hear Mark Cerny, lead architect for PS5 Pro, discuss the key innovations in the following video presentation. So this is 9 minutes long, but I don't know if you guys want me to watch it because it could take a while to get through. I feel like we kind of touched upon the stuff here. So other enhancements include PS5 Pro Game Boost. You can apply more than 8,500 backward-compatible PS4 games playable on PS5 Pro. This feature may stabilize or improve the performance of the supported PS4 and PS5 games. Enhanced image quality for PS4 games is also available to improve the resolution on select PS4 games. PS5 Pro will also launch with the latest wireless technology, Wi-Fi 7, in territories supporting the standard. VRR and 8K gaming are also supported. So basically, they're doing what Xbox has already done the last two console gens. They're taking their older library of games and they're making it so that if you play it on the current gen console, it'll run better, right? Like they did this with the Xbox One. Now they're doing it with Xbox Series X. If you play Xbox One or Xbox 360 games, they run and look better on the Series X or S, right? So there isn't copying Microsoft, but it is a cool feature, I feel. It's humbling to see how many game creators have embraced the latest technology for PS5 Pro. Several games will be patched for free software updates. So let's see. The games you can look forward to. Alan Wake 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Demon's Souls, Dragon's Dogma 2. I mean, Dragon's Dogma 2 runs like shit. It runs like complete shit. So if it runs like a normal game, maybe it would be better, a better experience, but it runs horribly right now, currently on the current gen stuff. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I distinctly remember, okay, had blurriness when you were doing the combat. If you wanted to maintain high frame rate, it would get very blurry and choppy during the combat because the resolution would be changing on the fly. So maybe that would fix that, and it would actually be crisp and clear now. Gran Turismo 7, Hogwarts Legacy, Horizon Forbidden West, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, True Motorfest, The First Descendant, Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, and more. I mean, some of those games don't need it at all, like Marvel Spider-Man 2, Horizon Forbidden West. Those games are perfectly fine as is. I don't really know what the enhancements would do, but I would definitely say out of that list, I would say Dragon's Dogma 2 and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth could definitely benefit, okay? We kept the look of the PS5 Pro consistent with the overall PS5 family of products. You notice the height is the same height as the original PS5. The width is the same size as the current PS5 model, which is the Slim, to accommodate higher performance specs. Players can add an Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive or swap out console covers when they become available. This is what it looks like. And they're showing you can break out the side panel and you can add the optional disk drive to it if you want a disk drive, but it's an additional cost, correct? So this is the current, and that's the new. Is that what they're doing? They're doing a side-by-side comparison, I guess? No, what is this? This is the Pro. What is this? Is this the current Slim? Maybe this is the current Slim. Because I don't have the Slim. I don't have that line on the side of mine. Okay. All right. PS5 Pro fits perfectly within the PS5 family of products and accessories available. All right, here we go. You ready? So here it comes, everyone. The PS5 Pro console will be available this holiday at a manufacturer's. It's November 7th, by the way. It's coming up. At a suggested retail price of $699.99 USD, $699.99 GBP, which I don't, that's pounds, right? 799.99 euros, and 119,980 rubles. No, excuse me, Japanese yen. Includes tax? Wait, what? No, it doesn't. What are they talking about? This is incorrect. This is supposed to say excludes tax. They have a typo on the blog. That doesn't include tax. That's wrong. So they got to fix that. That's a huge typo right there. People are going to think, oh, that price tag includes tax. Like, for example, in Washington State, our sales tax is like 10%. So actually, if I wanted to buy it, it would be like $770 or $780. Okay? It will include a 2 terabyte SSD. That's okay. Like, that's what my PC had at start. But I've already gotten an expansion to more than double that. A DualSense wireless controller, and a copy of Astro's Playroom pre-installed. Wait, well, hold on a second. Astro's Playroom? You mean they're not going to include the real game Astrobot? They're going to give you the mini game that's from the launch of PS5 instead? That's incredibly lame, right? How lame is that? They're not going to freaking give you the real game. They're going to give you the taste of the game that's like 4 hours long. That's a ripoff. I mean, they should give you Astrobot for free. For that price tag, you should be getting a real game for free. That's bullshit, in my opinion. PS5 Pro is available at a diskless console with the option to purchase the currently available disc drive for PS5 separately. How much is the disc drive? $100? I think it was $80, right? $79. Is it $79.99, the disc drive? I'm being told this price here, the Japanese price, does include sales tax and the others don't. So this is misleading. When you say includes tax, it sounds like you're saying all of these include tax. They need to break that out and make this separate a statement, or else it's completely misleading. That's false advertising right there. Anyway, so you have to buy the disc drive separately. And how much is it? Like $80 or something like that, right? Okay. Only the US doesn't include the tax. Oh. PS5 Pro will launch November 7th. It will be available at participating retailers and directly from PlayStation at direct.playstation.com. Pre-orders begin on September 26th. And then here's their PR babble that you don't need to read because it came out of someone's butthole. Okay? All right, well, they're trying to play catch up with PC. Okay? But I'm going to say exactly the same thing, all right, that I said when this was announced months ago as a rumor, okay? This console, just because you're going to have better hardware, does not mean that you're going to get better performance out of new release games at all. This is reliant on the game developer implementing the hardware. Because to be quite frank, the hardware of the PS5 is great. I have played games on PS5 that run silky smooth 60 frames, great graphical quality, tons of detail. And then there's other games that can't even hang and they run at a chugging 30 frames per second and look like shit. It's the same hardware. So you can't blame the console. You got to blame the game devs. You understand? In this case, just because they put even better hardware in there doesn't mean it's going to live up to the expectations of what people want out of it, or that game devs are going to actually take advantage of this. In fact, my question is, how many game devs are going to be like, well, now we want to have a special development team and mode just for PS5 Pro, right? I would argue for the Sony specific games, sure. In fact, the games they literally listed here, okay? But, you know, Demon Souls, where's it? Gran Turismo 7, right? Horizon Forbidden West, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Ratchet and Clank, and Last of Us Part 2 are all Sony-specific titles. Those make sense. There's a few third-party titles that said they're going to work on it. But my question is, moving forward, are these companies going to care? Right? Are they going to put all the time and extra effort in to get this implemented or not? Or are they just going to say, meh, it's there, but we don't really care, right? Especially these companies who are making their games cross-platform from the get-go. Are they going to really give a shit? You know, again, the PS5 claimed everything was going to be 4K 60 frames. There's literally nothing on PS5 that's 4K 60 frames. Like, nothing. Okay? It's a lie. They outright lied at the launch of the console, saying you're going to get performance that literally no games gave you whatsoever. You can either play 1080p 60 frames in some cases, others it's only 30, or you can play 4K 30 frames. And then the box, people were even saying in the chat, the box of PS5, base PS5 says 8K, and nothing renders at 8K on it whatsoever. It's a complete lie. So, do you have any confidence that this console will be fully utilized? Okay? For the price, $699 plus tax, depending on where you live. Oh, by the way, if you want a disc-based console, you got to spend about another $100 to get the add-on drive. Oh, by the way, if you want it to stand vertically, it doesn't come with the stand. Oh, by the way, unlike Xbox, they still don't have a Game Pass-like system. So if you were to say, if today's announcement was this, PS5 Pro for $699, crazy price tag for a console, right? But we're also launching our own service that's basically Sony Game Pass, where you're going to get all these first-party Sony titles for $20 a month, ongoing subscription fee. You don't ever have to buy a game ever again. Just get the pass and get the console and you're good to go. I'd be like, sold. You just put the butts in the seats. That's all people want. But you're now asking people who already have PlayStation 5s, because they are the leader in the console business right now, besides Switch, which isn't really the direct apples to oranges comparison. You know what I'm saying? It's basically, they're leading. They've destroyed Xbox's console gen. So everyone who wants a PS5 has one, right? You're expecting people who already dropped that money on the PS5 to now drop $700 plus tax, plus more money if they want a disc drive, plus more money if they want a stand, to now spend $70 plus tax for each game coming out after the fact. Oh, and you better hope the game devs implemented all the stuff we just mentioned, because they might not, and it might still run like shit. Somehow here, Sony lost the script. They did. They've lost the script. And I think it's because now they've been in the lead for 2 console gens. They don't feel like they really have major competition. So they think they can just like mess around and do dumb stuff, and no one's really going to hold them accountable. I saw monstrous amounts of negativity on social media this morning about this announcement. People were like, oh, it sounds good. And then when they said $699, people were like, are you crazy? $699 in a world market where everyone is now suffering from mass inflation. Prices are way up on everything worldwide. And all you're selling us on is possibly a little bit more detail, possibly a little bit better lighting, maybe a little bit faster loading, and maybe we'll get 60 frames at 4K, which most people are not using. Most people are still doing 1080p. They don't even know what resolution they're playing games on. They just let everything auto adjust. So it doesn't even, what they're selling you here isn't in demand right now. You want to know who wants ray tracing, better loading, more detail? PC owners. They're the ones. If you really want that, you go buy a PC. What they're trying to push is that PC performance in a console, but the game developers don't develop the games for console to implement these features. They have the PC versions implement these features. So it doesn't make sense. They're selling to an audience that doesn't exist. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think that people aren't going to go and get this. They are. Because there's those people who are these early adopter crazies who must have every piece of tech. There will be pre-orders out the butt. I wouldn't be shocked if this doesn't sell out just like original PS5 does. Okay? But I don't feel like this is going to be a long-term success for Sony. I don't think that the games are going to be implemented that well on it at all. And like for me, people say, well, are you going to get it? Well, I mean, honestly, what am I going to be playing on PS5? Well, right now I'm playing Astrobot, and that runs beautifully right now on my PS5. I don't need a PS5 Pro to run Astrobot any better. I don't care about 4K 120 hertz Astrobot. You know what I'm saying? What other exclusives are coming out? This year, just this year alone, what PlayStation 5 exclusives are coming out? Hold on. Let's see. None. In fact, the only good exclusives are basically Xbox. Like, Xbox is going to have, well, Flight Sim will be cross-platform with Xbox as well as PC. Same thing with Indiana Jones, right? It'll be cross-platform. They're all cross-platform. Like, there's literally, absolutely no Sony exclusives coming out. So why exactly do you need the PS5 Pro right now? If they were announcing, oh, PS5 Pro is coming out, and the new God of War will be out this fall, right? Or, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we're finally making Bloodborne in full 1080p 60 frame glory or 4K 30 frame on PS5 Pro. Holy shit, people would want PS5 Pro right away. But you haven't given any incentive for someone to want this console, and you've got an exorbitantly high price for it. So it doesn't make sense. But as smart as we're being about this, because we're being very critical of it, I guarantee you this thing will sell out. Right? I could be wrong, but I bet it's going to sell out. I bet it's going to sell out anyway because of these crazy-ass early adopters and scalpers who think that they're going to be able to sell it for double price. You know what I mean? I guess we'll find out.